we have a country to save. It sounds cliche, right? I mean, it sounds like a political candidate. We got a country to save, but it really is the truth. We're possibly at the end of the American experiment right now, because for 250 years in America, you had parties that had a different vision for America, but basically believed America was good. But right now, we have half of the political dialect that basically doesn't think America's good. That is a huge problem. That basically wants to erase America's history. That is a huge problem. Whether you're purely a libertarian or you're a more traditional conservative, it's like, that actually doesn't really matter right now. I want to defend the Constitution, rule of law, individual rights, the notion that the founding of America was good. These are all good things.
Hey, welcome back, everyone. The Republican Party is not really the same Republican Party it used to be, and neither is the conservative movement. Now, here to talk with us about this is Dave Rubin, and he has an interesting take on this. He's working on a new book, just finished, actually, I believe. The name is still classified, but he's here to talk with us about some details. And Dave Rubin, glad to have you on the show again.
It's good to be with you. I like this mood lighting that they gave us. They literally shut down the lights just as we went to start here, and we don't have any whiskey or anything?
I know. What's the deal with this?
I would like some whiskey. What's the deal with this? That's the question. Yes, I am very interested in this topic, this sort of new, from a political party perspective, a sort of new Republican Party, but from a more idea perspective, just what a wider tent of conservatism would look like if you could really incorporate the ideas that I love, of course, which are the classically liberal or libertarian ideas, so the more live and let live ideas. But then how do you blend that with, say, a traditional conservatism that maybe is a little more religious in nature? How do you blend that with people that have certain foreign policy issues, say the neocons? Is there something, the real sort of Trump wing that exists with a little more traditional Republican wing? Can you piece all that together? And is there enough commonality of basically America's pretty good, let's see if we can save it? Because it's all of us against the woke machine right now. So that's very much where I'm interested these days.
I think we started seeing this shift when Trump came into office, when a lot of the establishment Republicans really turned against him, and even had George Bush kind of move into the Democrat side. And so I'd say the Republican Party and the Democrat Party are totally different than they used to be. And this is such an interesting phenomenon to even look at. I mean, how do you view this shift?
Well, it's really extraordinary. I mean, if you think about it, the 60s, it was the liberals that were fighting for free speech. It was the liberals at Berkeley, right? It was the liberals at the ACLU who were literally in Skokie, Illinois, saying the Nazis should be able to march in a town that had the most Holocaust survivors in all of the United States. Did they want Nazis to march there? No. But did they want to defend people's right in America to express themselves freely? Yes. That's completely the reverse of the liberals of today. So in essence, in many ways, when I now would say I don't have a problem saying I'm a conservative in sort of the wide definition of how I just laid it out, well, in many ways I'm trying to conserve liberalism at this point. I want to defend the Constitution, rule of law, individual rights, the notion that the founding of America was good. These are all good things that, again, whether you're purely a libertarian or you're a more traditional conservative, it's like, that actually doesn't really matter right now. We have a country to save. It sounds cliche, right? I mean, it sounds like a political candidate. We got a country to save, but it really is the truth. We're possibly at the end of the American experiment right now, because for 250 years in America, you had parties that had a different vision for America, but basically believed America was good, right? Whether it was the Whigs and then breaking off into what became the Republican Party, and then there were the Democrats. It was like they all had a different vision of it, and eventually Lincoln didn't want to be part of this guy, with the Whigs anymore. It's okay, I'm going to form this party. We're going to be anti-slavery. Now everything flips. So things do flip in nature, and they flip over time. But right now we have half of the political dialect that basically doesn't think America's good. That is a huge problem. That basically wants to erase America's history. That is a huge problem.
Well, and I actually witnessed some of the changes on, I don't even know, I mean, it's still called the Republican Party, but I don't think it's even defined as that anymore. It used to be that there was a lot of divisions even within the conservatives. You'd have the Catholics and the Christians and the Protestants and the Jehovah's Witnesses who couldn't get, they really didn't work well with each other, but you've seen them come together. You've even had individuals like Milo Yiannopoulos, who was at the CPAC events and well accepted for a while. And it's different in nature. It really has changed quite a bit. And then you have libertarian conferences like the one we're at right now.
Yeah.
And libertarians really are closer to what they're technically liberals.
Yeah.
If you look at classical liberalism, Frederick Bastiat and F.A. Hayek and all these individuals, they were liberals.
Right. Well,
And-
that's the thing. What people always say to me, well, Dave, why don't you just say you're a libertarian? I don't mind if we really got into it here, I wouldn't mind if you said, well, Dave, it sounds like you're a libertarian by modern sense. Like, that's fine with me. I would say, I mentioned this in my speech earlier, there's really very little between a true classical liberal approach of the world, which believes in individual rights, laissez-faire economics, and libertarianism. It's just that for a classical liberal, you like to believe that there is some role for government in some of this stuff, where the libertarians are really always saying get out of that. Now, I actually like that philosophically, and in certain regard, I think it might be right because politics is so messed up. But I'm not sort of throwing in the towel and ready to say I'm an anarchist. So it's like if we can fix the system, if we could have a nice, nimble system that was not massive, then it's like it really does make sense to have a functional government. But if the government's going to become completely obtrusive and completely just basically, if it's going to be everywhere at all times, then we have a problem, and then it's like, well, then you could move me really towards that anarchist position.
Well, folks, 2 months on now, and we are still totally demonetized by YouTube. But given the situation where we have to censor ourselves if we want to really stay on this platform and make it work, we've decided on something else, which is this. We've launched a new platform called Epoch TV, EPOCHTV.com. And through this, we're able to publish uncensored content. News that can criticize anything we'd like, news that can talk about anything we'd like, news that can give you real information from any part of the world about any topic, without having to worry whether individuals will censor it. And in this current environment where information is being controlled, where narratives are being controlled, and where anyone who steps outside the boundaries of what is the accepted narrative by the fact checkers, quote unquote, by different big tech organizations, by media organizations, and so on. This is something that we believe is needed for the modern political environment, where people should be able to call things out. People should be able to question things. This is the basis of the Fourth Estate in America. The belief, again, that media should be able to hold government power in check, and that media should be able to inform the public about the issues they should be informed about, because that is the basis of our election system. An informed public making informed decisions. If you control this system of information, you control the political system. And folks, being a media organization, we can't stand for that. And so again, we have created an uncensored platform, Epoch TV. And anyone who wants to support Crossroads or support our broader mission of bringing real news, uncensored news, that's not afraid to stand up for what matters, please check out our website, epochtv.com, EPOCHTV.com. Check out the link below, and folks, please support us there.